Hey, good afternoon, Waycross family. This is your first city update for the month of March. I know it seems like we just did one. Um, that's because we did. so we, the way the weeks fed, we back to back this time with this one. And for those who don't know, this first update is always the short one. I kind of give you a quick update. I do take some questions, but we try to keep this no longer than 30 to maybe 40 minutes. And then the next one on the fourth Thursday of the month, that's when we do the long one. And we try to go a little bit longer. So today, I got a few slides. These are some topics we talked about before. And then I added a final point on there so that you can kind of consider some things that's going on with Waycross that we want to do better at as far as support. And I'll talk about that at the end. So we can bring the slides up so I can stay consistent. And again, these slides haven't changed much. So I do got a basic slide deck. And I might add one special topic to it, depending on what it is for that particular time of week. So, of course, these are discussion items: the city plan, infrastructure update, streets and roads, monetary finance, safety, what's on the way, and then community support, which I'll talk about at the end of the briefing. So we can go ahead and start the slide deck with the city plan. And we may have some new people coming on board watching the update for the first time. So I want to quickly and briefly talk about what the city plan is. The city plan is a 10-year plan that shows the way ahead and the methodology about some of the methodology, what we're doing to get to be in a better space as far as city operations. So what you're seeing before you right now is actually just the midterm and the long term, since we passed the short term, which was year 1 through 2 when I first got here, and we're now in years 2 through 4, which is midterms. And I'm very excited. We've come a very long way doing this midterm. We're actually ahead of schedule on many aspects, based off of the great performance of our team here. So one of the things that we've been doing in the midterm, I'm kind of read some of these bullet points, though I normally don't do that. But I don't know if you can see it, depending on how you're viewing it. You might can't see it on your phone. But we're fully implemented updated policies and performance tracking. So one of the things that we did when we first got here, I got with the team of our directors and talked about, hey, how can we really see ourselves, like benchmarking? How can we evaluate what service we provide? So one of the things you might know, those who've been paying attention and following us, we used to do everything by district, and we found out that was kind of inefficient because if it rained or it was a short week, we always got behind. And then what we did, we went back and we made a quadrant, 4 quadrants. And then we kind of looked at how long it would take for us to provide service. I'm speaking about public works as an example, how long it would take us to do all services, public works related wise, in one district. And we kind of came up with that number. So in 8 hours, we can cut this amount of grass, clear this much of canal, fix this much of streets, things like that. And we developed this formula. And what it came down to, as far as performance tracking, we know what we can do in 8 hours, pretty much to the T. So that allows us to, a lot of times, get ahead of schedule. And then we start on other things for that next week or that next day. So it's going very, very well. Next, strengthen workforce standards and training. So there was another problem that we identified. The top part of the city, myself, some of the directors, some of the commissioners, we were going to training. That's important that we go to training to stay abreast. But what was not happening is some of the workforce. And we got some key workforce people here that they need to stay abreast of their jobs because they bring so much to the team. They're a vital part of our daily operations. And back to, I'm going to use public works. Rarely did we send them to training. And we found out it was a shortcoming. Because even though you might think there's not a lot of training out there for a public works employee, there's a lot of training out there because there's always new technology, new equipment. So we started making sure that we send them to training as well. And that's paid back 100% because now we're abreast of new equipment, new ways to do work. And it's going well. Also, our finance department, our code department, we've been sending them to train as well to get better at their jobs. And that's going very well. Technology upgrades, that's going very well too. I think maybe it's time for us to do a status update on that so everybody kind of can understand. We'll probably do that after April's second meeting. Yeah, as I'm wrong. After April's first meeting, we'll come back in that second meeting, and we'll give you an update on our IT project because that's been really a focus here. As many of you know, our IT was decades behind, causing many headaches here in the staff. So we did the changeover or the upgrades that caused some headaches too because new information, new learning. It does take some time to figure all that out, but it's going very well. We've really modernized all our systems, and I'm proud of that because now we've expanded our capabilities, and it's where every city should be. So we're proud about that. And the rest of it can read. I'm not going to go too far into it. Of course, our long-term city services and just maintaining a great city operations, which we do. We have a great city team. We try to post updates and pictures every day so you can actually see what's going on with the city workforce. We got like I said, a great team, and I'll cover some of that in other slides about what some of the team is doing. In particularly, you see our public works every day. Of course, you see our police and fire. Those are the big three. You can always see them. But our codes department, behind the scene department, our BIS. It's a big title, so look up what BIS means. It's a very big title, but it has a lot of responsibility. That department, our finance department, human resources. Human resources has done a great job with our staff, keeping them the morale high with our staff by doing a host of events. I'm very proud of them. They're doing a great job as well. So that's kind of the city plan. Kind of quick up and down for those that might not have seen it. If you got any questions about the total city plan or recommendations, just reach out to my staff or my office and we'll get back to you. So we can go to the next slide. And for this next slide, I'm gonna wait till we get to it, so I'll be looking at my current slide. So this is the streets and roads update, and I want to make sure I make this clear because we continuously have questions about why this street is being done and my street ain't being done, and things. And I understand some of the frustration, but we brief the streets and roads every meeting, and this also this is put out every day about what's going on with our streets and roads. So if you did not know, on the 2023 Splash mandate, one of the requirements was for all dirt roads to be paved. And we have around, at the time, I want to say we had 46 dirt roads, if I'm correct, might be a little bit more. But as part of that mandate, and we already started paving some of those roads, but as part of that mandate, we have, to stay in compliance with the Splash, we have to pave the remainder of dirt roads. And I think we're down to the 30s now, with 8 we're doing right now. So that's why we are focusing on dirt roads as part of our pavement strategy, because we have to, because that was a mandate of the Splash 2023 that was voted on. So we're paving those roads, and with those roads we paving, we're not just coming down there and doing the grade work. We are doing the grade work, but we're doing curb and gutter and utilities prior to putting down any surface and material. So I see a lot of questions asked about that. So in a lot of cases, they get new utilities. That's why it takes a little bit longer than just resurfacing the road. Like I said, they're getting grading, they're getting water and sewer in certain situations, probably a whole culvert replacement. It just depends on that particular area. So I hope everybody can appreciate that. And I know people are going to say, well, when they got the house, they knew it was a dirt road. And I understand all that, but in some cases, they bought those houses because there was a promise made about the road being eventually paved. And also, it's 2026, and we don't want any residents living in the city to be on dirt roads. And also, we got some major construction going on as far as some of our drainage. You see there, Quarterman Thomas, Lee Avenue. That's another major project going on right now. I'm going to talk about that on the safety side, but I will say right now, that's blocked off for a reason. And I just ask that our residents understand that. I know if it's a train blockage, you can get impatient, and I get it. But I would just recommend, you won't right now. You won't know if a train is on plant and coming out at night. So just to be practical and save time, I always ask you to go ahead and go down Memorial to get to plant versus try to cut through that way, because there's a possibility there might be a train there, and then you got to backtrack to go back down night. versus you trying to cross through that construction area and potentially damaging your vehicle or actually damaging your well-being. So please be safe and watch out for that. And then the last part of this, I want to focus on our paved roads. So if you did not know, for our paved roads, we have a system called robotics, which grades our roads through a scoring system. Current condition. They get core samples to look at the last time the road was paved, rough patches. It's a matrix that's come together to determine the score of that road. And then we get GDOT data to determine the utilization of that road, how many cars and vehicles travel on this road daily. So we take that information, combine together at a 70-30 split, and then we prioritize our roads in that manner. A point there, you should be aware of, like the GDOT roads, although on that list at the very bottom, for those that have looked at the list, we do not maintain GDOT roads. Now, I know I had a comment I'm looking at now. A comment now where it was, why don't you do Oscar Davis first? Because we all travel that road. Yes, I totally agree with you. Is it a southbound? Northbound? That lane is not good. I totally agree with you. I have reached out to GDOT. There is something in works to fix that, but we're not responsible for the pavement on the GDOT maintained or the state maintained roads. Our focus is on the city roads. So that's why if you look at that list, the list that I'm talking about, you can be found on our webpage. Go to the engineering department, scroll down to the bottom, and you're going to see both of those lists, the dirt roads list, and then you're going to see the street paving list, and then you'll see the prioritization. Now, you're not going to see all 500 streets on the street roads list, but you're going to see the next 100, and based on their score. That's based off the score I discussed earlier. So, so again, if you got questions about streets, when it's getting paved, you can go to that part of our website, and you can see it. Where your street is. If you got a question, if your street is not in that next 100, that means it's in the next 100 or the next 100 or the next 100. And I guess the question becomes then when we get to it. I don't know. Right now, we're probably averaging about 15 to 20 streets. Well, probably like 15 streets a year. And that depends on the length and the condition of the roads. Now, over time, because we're doing the worst roads first, over time we'll pick up on speed because the roads will require less effort, if that makes sense. So in about 3 to 4 years from now, when we get into that middle group of roads, they only requires a little bit of pavement and they have a little bit of drain issues, we'll get done with that much faster. If you remember back to I said 10-year plans, this road strategy is about, it will require probably 10 years as well, a 10-year strategy. But the way we're doing it now, like I said, we go back and look at when the road is done by the contractor. We go back and fix things. Then if something wasn't done right. And again, because we are replacing utilities, we also make that the long-term stats of that road go a little bit longer. So right now we're estimating like these roads that we've done last year, they should last between 20 and 30 years, which, with I guess I would say with standard utilization. So, and by the time these first 15 we've done already get done, you're talking 20 years. Most of us won't be here when they require resurface again. But hopefully the people that follow us keep that plan going on. So that's as far as that. So we can go to the next slide. And I'll get to questions at the end. If you got some questions, I can see one coming in there. I thank you for that comment. But we'll try to answer some questions at the end of this brief. So it's just talking about our collaboration projects with GDOT. You've heard me talk about this at our meetings. I will say I do talk to GDOT as much as I can about some improvements. And these are mostly geared towards safety, as far as the raised mediums, the hybrid beacons. And if you want to understand what a hybrid beacon is, just kind of Google that. But the main thing for that is the light is red versus yellow, because we all know. Well, I guess I'll ask, what does yellow mean? We had that conversation last week. Yellow, to me, it means yields and slow down and prepare to stop. For others, it means something else, but I won't go there. But because it does mean something for everybody differently. I think the best thing for us to do is change it to red, and red definitely means stop. I think it means stop for everybody. I hope it means stop for everybody. Um, and then you see other programs. So a lot of the status are actually changing. And as soon as I get the confirmation of the updated status, we will update this slide so you can know where those projects are at right now in the queue as far as GDOT. And we can go to the next slide. I'm doing a dramatic pause, y'all. So, but hey, okay. So this is the codes department slide, and it's self-explanatory. I would just say that our codes department are working very hard to keep Waycross safe, beautiful, and in compliance. Now we have a retreat on April 10th and 11th, and the commissions is looking to change some of our code requirements, delete some of our old policies, update some of our old policies, and then remove some of our policies. So if you got an issue right now, some of the builders, I talked to some yesterday. I will ask you, it's March 5th. You're talking about 30 days away, because we will be making significant changes to some of our codes department, requirements. And of course, we don't want you to waste any of your money. So if you're in a situation now where you're trying to meet a requirement and you think it's feasible, it could be changed, or it's a different way to do it, I encourage you to come talk to the codes department, or you can contact my office, because like I said, we're going to change some things here on the 10th and 11th, and it might be beneficial to you to reach out right now versus wait and then we change it, and then you lose some money sometimes. So that was that. I will say here for our codes too, we have started making significant improvements to our animal shelter. We're going to try to make it enclosed shelter, and I want to thank your SPLOST dollars for that. So we're going to utilize some of that 2023 for infrastructure improvement, and we're going to try to close in the shelter because right now we have a lot of bands outside, and do some other aesthetic changes just to make it a better place for our animals. But at the same time, it is not a forever home for these animals. So we're just asking everybody to please be responsible pet owners and watch out for your pets in the neighborhoods and in the streets. And if your pet is lost, please contact the shelter immediately. 9 times out of 10, we've probably picked that animal up if we could, if we had room. And the faster we get them back to their owners, the better for everybody. All right, we go to the next slide. And again, I'm doing my dramatic pause to really get y'all to ask what's coming next. So we're on this financial update, and I know it's kind of busy. Somebody caught me by the other day. I want to make sure that we displayed a picture so you can kind of understand, first of all, how your tax dollars are being used, and typically how a municipality is funded. I think it's a misbelief out there on how we fund it, and what drives our cost up, and how we deal with inflation and things of that nature. So all that's not answered here, but what we tried to do, just kind of show you, when your tax is collected, how much we anticipate on collecting over the next 5 years, where we appropriate some of that money at. You can see there, roads and street, we spent some of that already. Vehicle purchases. If you've been following our meetings, I want to thank our residents too. You made it possible for us to kind of flip our entire fleet, which is a great thing for the city of Waycross. I will say that when I first got here, each of my directors is going to see a little bit differently, as far as their areas, but because we had a lot of old vehicles, but due to your tax dollars, some ARPA funding, I think we were able to purchase, might be up to 15 police cars now. I think we did 6. Yeah, we're up to 12 police cars right now with a few more in works, and because of those purchases, we're going to be able to flip the cars faster through another program. So we'll keep our officers with some updated equipment so they can do their jobs better. The same thing with the fire department, using some ARPA and some SPLOST mix. We were able to get a new fire truck, and we got a great fire department, and they needed that. And we also got them some new Ford trucks, which they also need. So that's a lot of things we're doing for our fleet, and that's all due to your SPLOST dollars, and we thank our residents for that. Then you see some other things on there as well, the blighted properties. I won't talk about blighted properties here. After we come from the retreat, we're going to have another strategy for that, and we'll talk about it at that point. And then you see property taxes collected. We're actually up to $4 million now. Local sales tax year to date, I think it's like 2.8 million now. And then business license, alcohol permits. Those business license, alcohol permits, they go a long way for the community. They allow us to do a lot of things that we're not funded for as far as our business community. So we thank our business community for doing their part to ensure that we can provide them services on other areas outside of our big three service providers. And that bottom line, just so everybody really understands, that 75% of your taxes go directly to the services provided by the staff. And when I say that, I'm saying 75% of your dollars go towards the salaries of the police, the fire, public works, human resources, biz, finances, utilities, directly to them so that they can provide services directly to you. So that's where majority of your money goes. And I think it's well funded because, again, we have a very, very great team. I think everybody knows that. All right, we can go to the next slide. And I want to believe we're about to come up on, this is just our slide saying stay connected. And we posted this because, first of all, we have numerous ways for you to reach out to the city. Of course, it's going to be word of mouth, phone call, our meetings, our live streams. But probably the most effective way to reach the city or to get an action done by the city is going to be that city app. It's got a lot of capabilities. It directly aligns a resource with a resource provider, i.e., if you call and you see a fallen tree, you put it in there, it's going to geotag it. The address is going to Public Works, we'll come get the tree. Same thing with an animal when the shelter is not in capacity. So we encourage you to use the app as your first means of communication with the city. If it's an emergency, of course, we ask you to call 911. But again, you see those areas listed there that you can call or reach out to us if you need information. All right, we can go to the next slide. And this is going to be about some safety tips. And you've probably seen this slide before because I haven't changed this slide much because it carries the same message. So again, keeping Waycross safe is a shared responsibility amongst all residents of Waycross, and we all got to do our part better. Is being transparent and honest. Still need y'all to slow down. Please obey these traffic signals. Still got a lot of people on their phones driving. And all this seems small, but it adds up and it endangers the lives of our fellow residents. So, I just ask you to drive your car in a manner that the person beside you, in front of you, behind you, is like your family member, your wife or your mother or your child. I think you might look at things perhaps differently when you're driving. So just be safe out there. Same thing too. We have a lot of construction going on right now, and it's going to get worse here in a few months when they start doing the Ossie Davis. We got some major paving projects coming up, so it's going to be a lot of stuff going on. I want to keep our workforce safe, especially in some cases they might be working at night. So please watch out for them because again, they're providing a quality service to you to improve your quality of life, and they take pride in doing that. But we want to make sure that they're safe out there. All right. And while I'm talking about this, I guess I need to mention as well. When I come in, a lot of times I come in early in the morning, I kind of check my email and I leave. I drive back through one of our schools, and they have the sheriff maintains a lot of this when they do traffic control in those areas. And I just want to, I've been meaning to discuss this for a while now. I've almost seen 2 sheriffs get hit in the last month trying to do patrol there in front of the schools. So I'm gonna ask y'all this. They have a light that's blinking that says, during those hours to drive 25 miles. That's the first thing we got to start doing. And the second piece, I know each sheriff might do their movements different, but they are close. and if you drive and slow down, you can't misinterpret it what they're trying to tell you. And then at the same time, I would just say, anytime the sheriff is there, we should practice like that's a four-way stop automatically. You should proceed like it's like you're gonna stop. That means slow down and then wait for guidance from the sheriff as far as which direction they want you to go. Much like the police, they put their life, you know, always place their life out there at risk. And I just feel like right now that particular job should not be so dangerous. And like I say, what I witnessed is because contribute to speeding. There's no cameras in that area, so of course we can't verify that. But if you gotta stop and you are making that noise, that means you're going too fast. And again, let's watch out for these sheriffs. Our sheriffs that are doing their job to first of all make sure that our kids get to school on a safe time, on time, and then second, make sure keep everybody safe. So again, if the light is flashing, please slow down, and then please pay attention to the direction of the sheriff in the traffic circle and assume that it's a four-way stop. I hope that's clear to everybody. All right, let's go to the next slide, or my last slide, I guess. Okay. Well, I guess I didn't put it in there. Well, you know what? I didn't have a slide for community support. So let me start there with the community support. We've had since I've been here, we've tried to do a lot of things, a lot of different events for the community to have, stuff to take your family and all those things. One of our authorities here, the Downtown Development Authority, have done a great job with bringing new businesses downtown, new places to eat, new places to travel, new places for your leisure, so you can enjoy yourself on the weekends. And that's one thing that we constantly get asked about, things for our kids and all those things. Also, big picture, when you look at Waycross, and we get calls about why we don't have this and why we don't have that. When is this coming? If it's coming, I know some people get information through other sources, and I would just say that if you want Waycross to truly grow, and we got to start supporting our local events. We got to start supporting our local stores and vendors. We got to show up so they show up for us. The average lifespan right now for a new restaurant in Waycross is 1 or 2 years. And I know you're going to say, we got a lot of restaurants, and that's why, and that might be true. But the average lifespan for a new business here is also 1 or 2 years. And these are new businesses. And then some of our current businesses are struggling too. So I always encourage you to buy locally if you can, those that have. And then, and just support our local business, support our local restaurants, our local mom and pop stores. Do what you can. Now I know everybody's finances are different, so I understand that. But if we're going to expect these big chain stores and all these things, we want to come here, when they come assess the marketplace here, we got to give them a good picture. We got to show them that we will support those businesses and also other events. If we want to, we have First Friday, actually tomorrow. And I will admit, we had we first started this, we picked up some speed, then we kind of tapered off. We had unfortunately, we had to change personnel a little bit, and she took this on, and we're trying to make it a great event. And it's going to be a great event tonight, not tonight, tomorrow night, afternoon, because we're going to honor Waycross daughter, Sergeant Sanders. I think her run is going to be tomorrow. And also we got some vendors coming in to provide some good food, and we're going to have music and dancing there. So if you get your family and you're trying to go do something on a Friday night, it's not football season. I don't think we have a basketball game tomorrow. If we do, I think the basketball game will be actually after First Friday, but we'll check on that. But please come out and support. I mean, support those local vendors. We're going to have some vendors on the side of the road, selling items. We're going to have, I think sometimes we introduce our new pets out there or available pets. But if we want to get, support from outside Waycross, we got to support inside Waycross first. So please help us out with that. I want to touch on safety. I forgot to mention something. So we've had a lot of fires this year. I mean, all kinds of fires. We've had house fires, abandoned house fires, field fires. We had a field fire last night. We had one this morning. For a lot of reasons. Like I said, we had the fire chief. He briefed at the last meeting about some things you could do to help us with that. So please go back and watch that meeting. We do provide other services, fire detection devices, installations, checks, all those things. But more than that, we need y'all to be safe and conscious of being safe. One thing that's happening right now, a lot of these field fires, this is the season where the farmers, they do the controlled burns. And that's why you see a lot of smoke everywhere. I know people see that smoke. It's frustrating because it just comes back through the city and it's coming from multiple directions. But they do that in preparation for harvest season. But again, we need everybody to kind of be conscious of how they do that, especially your burns in your backyards. I think the county, you can't do burns here in the city, but I think the county has put out new guidance on that right now until we get out of the burn cycle for the farm because it is causing problems. But we want everybody to be safe, and we don't want to overwork our fire department. However great they may be, for them to be going every day, putting out fires, and every night, it can be consuming and exhausting and energy draining. So, got a great fire team. They probably could go for days at a time, but if we ain't got to have them doing that, we shouldn't have them doing that. So just watch out as far as your fire safety. And with that completes our update. I didn't see many questions on here, so yeah. So again, when I don't see questions, either we did a great presentation or answered everything or something else. So I hope that we did a great presentation and you were satisfied with what we presented. I'll stay around to 12:40 just to see if anybody has any questions, concerns, or positive solutions to answer those. If not, then we'll sign off and go on to our next events. But while we are waiting, just again, if you look at the slides, they'll be posted as well. We just want to thank our great team here in the city. We have a lot going on. We're trying to do some additional park renovations. I will say this too as a reminder. We will not open the splash pads up until probably the second week in April. Now, once we do that, and or if you're having a big event that you like to have a party out there or something like that, when you do that event application, you got to put on there request bathroom usage to those parks that have bathrooms. That's the only way we're gonna unlock the bathroom. It won't be open just because you put a request in. Now, if you show up without out the event application, it might be hard to get somebody there to unlock their bathroom. So I just encourage you, if you got an event planned with more than 50 people, or that you go ahead and do the right way and put in the request for our bathroom services. That way we can get out there and make sure we have the bathroom stocked and make sure that we have people on speed dial to unlock them. All right, we got 3 minutes. And it's gonna be that long 3 minutes while I just kind of sit here and smile. But so do we have any questions out there? I just need to check my phone sometime. Yeah. All right. I don't see it on my phone. Just do this one more time. All right. So I'm gonna close this out. First of all, I want to thank our great citizens of Waycross, our residents of Waycross. You're an awesome group of people. I know right now we have some other posts and we have some challenges right now, and just understanding, some of the things that might affect each other negatively. And all societies have that. And I think the great thing about us, we have some deep conversations on some things that maybe affect us each differently. And that's important that we get to that clarity, understanding how we each are impacted. And then we get a solution that works for everybody. Now, I feel like we can get a solution. that works with everybody in these types of scenarios. Um, and we all can do our part. Also, I didn't mention like April. It's the month of cleanup. We're gonna have a lot of volunteerism. If you still want to volunteer for that cleanup, reach out to my office to get on one of those details. We're gonna have a couple forums. I think we're gonna have a job forum, a veterans support forum. We're gonna have Waycross one-on-one in April as well. The city retreat, Swamp Fest. What I'm missing? That's a lot. Uh, Hopefully, our high school basketball teams will be coming back for the championship, and we're doing something for them. Uh, and with our Super Bowl parade, I'm not sure if we got a date yet, but it'll be coming soon. So April's going to be a big month full of events. So if you're talking about getting out and finding something to do, you're going to have a lot to do in April. The weather's still going to be nice, not too hot yet, like it normally is here. So we're looking very forward to that, getting out here with our community and doing great things to make our community better. Also in that month of April, we're going to have some houses cleaned up as far as some of our groups that go around and assist other residents with, doing home repair. So that's going to be much appreciated. And I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Like I said, April's going to be very busy. And we're excited about that because that means that we're going to be doing our jobs here for our residents. Oh man, I see a post on there. That's what I get for working late last night. I missed everything. So it says y'all boys lost last night, which is great. I mean, not great, but it's fine. Got a great team. I want to say they only had one senior, maybe. I think everybody came back. Well, we got talent. We got talent in reserve. So I think we'll be even stronger next year. We got a great coach down there. Let me say this: we got a great education department. Period. Ware County school system tested very high last year when they was evaluating all our school system. So got a great school system down there doing great things. This last week, we actually was able to, some of the staff was able to go out and read to some of the students. And I want to tell you, we got some very young, concerned residents here in the city of Waycross. Even in the fourth grade, they are concerned about certain things that happen and don't happen in the city. And they will hold us all accountable to do our jobs better. So I appreciate our young people being so involved, even in the fourth grade. I will go ahead and mention too that our city mayor's youth council, I think they got something in the works too, as far as their next project. So if you can support that, please support that. We got a great mayor's youth council, some very, very strong and motivated individuals that they'll inspire you. If you lose inspiration, just go talk to them. They get you back on point. They did for me. So a great bunch of young people there. And with that, let me just refresh one more time. I don't want to get out here and somebody be mad at me. Okay. I don't see any more questions on there. Hey, so y'all have a great day. Get out there and enjoy this weather. And I will see y'all tomorrow at First Friday. I think we starting at, is it 5 still?
4 o'clock
Oh.
registration for the race.
Okay.
Start at 5.
4 o'clock registration for the race. Everything else starts at 5. Again, good food, good family time, good music. I will see y'all there. Everybody have a blessed day. Thank you.